Hello everyone, welcome back to the Pushing Horizon podcast. Today we've got a powerhouse of a guest, John. He runs a 100-mile races and he has clocked over 200 miles in a week, and he has battle injuries. He quit alcohol, became a dad, and somehow he's still showing up for others. He pushes athletes with disabilities in races. This isn't just a story about running, it's about resilience, service, identity, and coming back from the. So let me please introduce to John. Hey John, thank you so much for giving your time and making it all the way to the podcast. So we had some fun before.
It's good to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
It's going to be great. So let's get down into it and talk about all those things that you just talked to me about, all those runs during the COVID era. You have hit around 200 miles in a week, and that's just not physical. So what did your mindset look like during these peak weeks where you kept going?
It was fun. It was just kind of cool to detach from job and stuff because I was on furlough. Like I just thought about myself, just kind of got to a happy place and just ran. It was very simple. Another thing that fired me up during it, I don't know, did you watch, this was back in COVID, but did you watch the Jordan documentary that was on ESPN, the 30 for 30 about Michael Jordan, Last Dance? It was like his last title run with the Bulls. That was on, and that fired me up because it was so intense. It showed a lot of stuff on Jordan that I hadn't seen before to show what kind of athlete he was. So a lot of times I would be running and be like, I want to stop here. But wait, Jordan would not stop. So you got to keep going, John. You got to be Jordan. And then the music was super intense also. It just fired me up, man. I was like, I'm going to go out and run a 50K today. I'm going to do it tomorrow too. I would just make up stuff where I live. It's so cool just making up routes. I'm sure I got the neighbors and stuff angry because I live in the rural area. I probably accidentally ran on people's property and stuff, not intentionally, but and now if you look around where I live, there's like cameras and stuff all over the place, gates. I didn't think I was doing anything wrong at the time. I was just trying to run wherever I haven't ran before, just to choose your own adventure because there's no races. So what I was doing was just like my own stuff and just having fun with it.
Everything was shut down. I remember I was in Florida at the time and the shops were closed and it was winter and everything, and it was awful, and there was no food or anything and no public gathering.
They were a little bit more relaxed though. Virginia was pretty strict, man. It got to the point where I didn't mind wearing a mask or anything like that. And I got vaccinated as soon as I could, just to do my part and not. And also I'm a caregiver, so I need to be vaccinated to protect my dude Donald. But I didn't mind doing that stuff. But just to stay out of people's way, I just stayed where I live, man. Pretty much, if I needed to make a food run, I would. My brother would. Family members. But I just kind of cool just to be away from people for a while. Don't get me wrong, I love people, but I think I was at a point that I needed it. I just needed to kind of get away and just kind of just assess where I was at and just find my own happiness back then. And I think it's very healthy for people to do, but it sucked though also at the same time that it took a pandemic to do that for me. I couldn't just do that at the time normally.
I know that feeling. Sometimes you need that break away from people, and so you can recharge and just come back in a good way. So
people can be draining at times, man. I try to choose good people in my life, but it's tough, man. It's tough selecting friends and relationships and stuff like that because people that you think they're a good fit for, you find out later, oh my God, you were not a good fit and you were draining the out of me. That's it. And run ultras and just run a shitload of ultras, man.
Yes.
Just run all the ultras and don't get injured though. Don't be like me. Don't get injured.
Oh, I'm being very careful now. So I just started my first week of training actually. So for my ultras, and then I did pretty good. 51 kilometers, then shitload of elevation though, so my elevation is not to be too hard, so I did around 475 meters. So I just need to be careful because I'm not used to the highest elevation, so I need to slowly. I cannot do 400 again this week because I'm gonna get injured. So
well, you know what I find though, what messed me up was running a lot in Florida. There's no elevation there. The only time I could find any was on bridges, dude. I did some bridge work, some bridge mountain Florida work, but anyway, dude, I find that I get less injured when I do the mountain training and stuff like that, the elevation. If I just run flat stuff or lesser elevation but running faster, that's how I get injured. If I just run ultras, slower pace and doing the vert, I stay injury free. So I need to put more of that into it and not be so. I get dumb, man. I just want to run fast at times and I don't care about anything, and that's what messes me up. I got to stop doing that. I just got to incorporate more slower runs and vert training. But yeah, that's usually if I'm injured, that's why I was just being a dumbass. Quick.
Yeah. Usually when I was running here, but there are hills, so I go running the trail, and usually when I use the trail run, it's usually 115 meters up for like 15k something run. But now I started doing this. I go to a different trail where I have to do loops, so the elevation I've never racked up like 150 except on the marathon course. But on my training, I've never ran 400 in a week. My best is like 900 something in a month, and with hilly route. But I'm getting used to it. The hills makes you stronger, but we just need to be careful because you cannot just go from 150 to 450. It's like a big jump. Well, that's how you get injured.
Part of that. So last year I was injured from doing a couple races that I shouldn't have been doing, and I did a really hard run because my friend passed away and we did a memorial run for him. But it's a really hard loop. It's the Wild Oak Trail here in Virginia, and dude, everything hurt on me after doing that. I didn't even do it that fast or anything, but my back was hurting. And then I had another race the week after that. The cool thing with this year is that I gave myself time to heal. I'm not doing a lot of races until the back half of the year. I've got some time to heal, but I gotta be smarter in between and stuff like that. Try not to do them week to week and stuff like that. Because you look at my ultra sign up, man, I've done some really dumb stuff. You can see, whoa, he did 2 races this weekend and blah, blah, blah. I love being out there, and that's the problem, man. I like the community a lot. And yeah, I always risk injury trying to do too many races, but I'm getting smarter.
On that topic, you said this year it has been different for you. You had to scale back because of the injuries, and that is a very difficult thing to do, because especially you said when you are running double ultras in a month, in a weekend, right? You are doing so much of running. So how's that shift hit you mentally and emotionally?
Dude, it's coming off drugs, basically. You feel invincible doing these races, not to do them. It's tough. But I think one thing that's helped me, though, is just I begrudgingly at the gym and I hate it at the same time, but it's helped me out. In the past, it's helped me stay healthy, and I've really neglected it, especially over the last couple of years. I just stopped going. I stopped doing weight training, doing cross training. And yeah, I think that if anything, this has taught me that I need to be more mindful of my body and taking care of it better and doing stuff that I don't want to do. We were talking before the pod started. I hate swimming. I hate cycling. I don't like doing weights. I'm not a gym bro, but I need to do that stuff because I'm 45 years old. If I don't do that, I will break down. I can't have 100-mile weeks and not be doing that kind of stuff, man. If I do that, that means I'm going to be hurt at some point. So I got to be smarter. So if anything, it's been rough not being able to see a lot of my friends at races and stuff like that, and also just being able to be out there at the place I want to be. But I bought the ticket and I got to take the ride, man. So if you write that check, man, you got to be responsible for your actions, and sooner or later, your body is going to quit on you if you don't take care of it.
And these things matter though, not now, because when you're young, then it doesn't matter. But if you want to learn for longer time, then that's kind of needed. Because I was talking with Alex, she was the mobility coach, and she said one of the things that always keeps come back to me after that podcast, I started doing stretches in the evening before going to bed, because he said, you want to do these things so that you want to quit on your terms. So after listening to that, I was damn right, she's right. So now I bought the mobility ball from her, and then I'm hitting up my quads, my gym, and I've been doing stretches every night, and I'm just trying to do things that I need to do so that I can run for longer and I can just enjoy when you make comeback from the injury or stuff like that. What does a comeback actually looks like for you?
I'm going to be brutally honest. I'll tell you what it is for me. Basically, you start to get 70 to 100 miles a week, at least for me. I'll start running normally, then get injured again, and it might even happen again. It's not, for me, consistency takes a while. I've been real consistent for years, but I had a lot of traumatic stuff happen at the end of last year with injuries, breakups, stuff like that. So I know that my mind and my body is pretty shot. It's going to be a process. I could probably, good chance I get injured again after this one. I just have to be mindful of that. I can't get discouraged. I have to really dedicate myself to, like you said, where we talked about previous, just the gym. It's just a lot of work, man. And I don't want to, I'm not one of those people that are just, oh, just rest. Don't do any other activity. No, I have to make active recoveries, man. Like I have to do some kind of gym work or swimming. If I get hurt, I'll just work out other areas of my body that aren't in pain, just to stay active and stay fit. Because that's the worst thing people do, is they just, okay, I'm going to rest for 2 weeks and not do anything at all. Why are you going to do that? You're just going to gain weight. You're just going to get out of shape, and you're going to lose the fitness that you already have. So for me, it's just a process of keeping consistent, even if you can't run, doing gym work, working on other areas. If your legs are shot, work on your upper body, or do the stuff that your legs can do that you don't feel pain. You know, just try to find something to do to focus on and still be able to burn calories, stay fit through other aspects. I'm doing right now with those other ones. And you know what? I do like swimming and cycling. I can't do my primary sport, but do the stuff that angers you. That's what I would say.
It's not fun. And that's the point, is with that, if you cannot run, then nothing will be same as running, because it doesn't give all of that adrenaline that running does. And it's just like, oh God, I don't want to do it. And I hate ellipticals.
I think that's why people quit. I think they're just, it's just too much. I don't want to do this. I got to do something else. It's tough. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of stuff you don't want to do. And luckily, I've been committed to going back to the gym and doing the stuff I don't want to do, but I'm not going to run for the next 2 weeks to try to get right. And that's tough. Just thinking about 2 weeks without running. I mean, that's pretty harsh, man. Just on the bike and doing the weights and stuff like that. I'm not a gym guy, so it's hard.
I know that feeling. But then you signed up for the Devil Dog 100, which is a beast. How will you prepare for that?
It's in time. There's plenty of time to work on that.
Okay.
I might even sign up for some races even before that. Like, so basically in 2 weeks, I'm doing a big race here in Fredericksburg where I live. The Marine Corps Marathon Historic Half. I'm pushing a buddy. I don't know who I'm assigned yet for the team for Ainsley's Angels, but yeah, I'll be pushing somebody on that But that's going to be my test to see if I'm okay. But we'll see, man. Fingers crossed. In the past, this strategy has worked, but I'm going to be honest with you. It's kind of a Hail Mary. When you're running and then you start getting pain and then you've got a race coming up, you're just like, okay, I'm going to shut it down for 2 weeks and see how I feel. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And if it doesn't, back to the gym and doing the stuff you hate again.
So 2 weeks of rest and then you're just gonna do the marathon?
It's a half marathon. Yeah,
Okay.
like I said, I'll be pushing somebody. I don't know who it is yet. I can't wait to find out. My buddy Donald's going to be there too. Initially, I wanted to race him and his dad. They're fast. They can do a half marathon under an hour and 30 minutes. They're so fast. But I wanted to race them, but there's no chance. I don't even want to think about times. I can't think about times. I don't know how fast I'm going to be because I've been injured, but I know I'll finish. I'm curious to see what happens after though. If I can run consistently after that, but you'll see that. And that will base a lot if I can do races closer to Devil Dog to kind of prep for that, or if I just need to then rest and do the gym stuff again more until Devil Dog. But Devil Dog and the Marine Corps Marathon, because it's the 50th, and I'm going to be on that too. So that's going to be really fun. I love pushing on big marathons, but Marine Corps Marathon's going to be big. Devil Dog's going to be really big. Like I said, the smartest thing I did, which I'm not usually a smart guy with running, but the smartest thing I did was give a lot of time to see how my body was feeling throughout the year. And this is going to be a really good test in a couple weeks, the historic half.
Yeah, that's the thing we usually don't do. After we are injured, then we don't take the time to take a step back and just ease it in. But usually that helps. Gym obviously helps, like you are doing it.
But I
think that's the right approach.
Basically what happened was, out of nowhere, this injury happened. I pulled something in my hip area. And I have a PT that looked at it, and she thinks 2 to 3 months it's going to take. But that was a month ago, I think. So I'm getting there, but I've been trying to run a little bit. I went from going from 70 miles. I had a good month, solid after the initial injury. So I went from all that to the week I got injured, I had 28 miles. Then I got 15. I was like, okay, I'm doing better. But then this week, I only got 10, and it was really painful. If I run and there's pain, I shut it down. There's no reason to try to run through injury. If I feel pain, I don't run. I think it's not wise to do that. There's no reason to further injure yourself, especially if it's starting to hurt in other places too. You don't want to do that. So I was smart and just started doing the gym stuff. That's what a lot of injury is, just kind of testing stuff out. And if it doesn't work, being smart enough to shut it down, go back to doing the PT. But you definitely want to do that while you're running, of course, the PT and the gym, but just kind of evaluating and knowing when to not run.
I was just thinking, you said I was running this much, and then you said I'm doing 28, and I'm like, that's about right. That's what I do right now. 28, 32 miles in my peak.
You're doing better right now than I am, man. That's what I'm saying. You're being smart about it. I'm used to doing a lot of miles. I built up pretty slowly to what I was at, but that's going to be a lot of this year. I think I'm going to have some good weeks, and then I'm going to have some bad ones like this, and it's just going to be a process. My yearly miles is going to look like a bunch of mountains, man.
That's how mine looked from the beginning of this year, because I didn't run only 60 kilometers in January, I think, and then I did 90, and then March I did 170. That was, I'm back, and then I ran the half marathon, and my calves were kind of hurting, so I only did 120 something in April. So now I'm going back up. It's the same way, like mountain. But I think now the goal is to keep going up. I've learned my lessons. I was not ready to do the half marathon, but I just went and tried to get the PR unnecessarily. Now I'm just gonna slowly build, because if I lose 2 weeks, then that 2 less week to prepare for the ultramarathon race that I have, so I don't want to lose it.
I have to keep telling myself this a lot, and everyone tells me, but I never listen. Sometimes it's better to be undertrained and have the rest. A lot of times that's more beneficial than just grinding out miles that if you're hurt, you don't need to do. I'm hoping things just feel better when I do this half, but we'll see what happens. It's funny how it all works. I've had great races coming off of just like crazy mileage and stuff like that, but then your body's not right. It's not right. This year I was in hospital beds with pneumonia, and yeah, dude, it's just, if your body gets to a point where it's depleted like that, it's a process to get it back. It's really tough.
It is hard to recover from the illness, because that will just deplete your endurance, so you have to restart it again. And that's what I felt, because I was so peak when I ran in Berlin Marathon, and then it kept downward, because every 2 weeks I was getting sick, and then I found out that I had a bacterial infection. So every 2 weeks I couldn't build up, and then I had to take a whole month off and took the antibiotics. But then I was just slow process, because your endurance is all gone, and whenever you try to run outside, it's like, oh my god, it sucks. It hurts, and it's winter, and everything is hurting, because in winter the muscle contracts when running, because the body is so focused to keep your body, and it's like, everything hurts. And especially calf is fucked up when you run in winter, because there is no blood. The body's primary focus is to keep your body warm, so everything is trying to preserve that. But when you run outside, it's just like, oh god, it's so cold. It sucks in snow, man. It sucks in snow. It does.
I thought when I started running after being sick, it was such a process. Brutally cold here in Virginia. I didn't even know how to layer or anything here, because we had some really cold days that we normally don't during winter. It's like 40 here. It's not that cold, but we had some really cold days, and I don't like running fast in the cold. I kind of just eased into it, and then once it started getting warm, that's when I was like, yeah, it's on. So I got happy, and then to Florida, and it was like 70 every day, and I just wanted to run and run and run. But I still loved winter, but now I don't don't like it anymore. I just like to run in the heat. That's kind of my jam. I'm hoping if everything goes well this year, I'm going to try to apply to Badwater 135 August because I love the heat. I want to.
Yeah.
I think I can do well on it. I've done like cold races before. I did one that was really funny. I did one in Buffalo, the Beast of Burden, in February in Buffalo. When I did that, there's snow everywhere.
Yeah, cold.
It was like negatives, and it was funny because I didn't know how to layer for that stuff here in Virginia because it never gets that cold here. So I DNF'd that race at mile 75. I should have finished it too because I should have just grinded it out because that was right before COVID. That was my last race, I think, before COVID when they shut everything down. But I was so mad at myself. I was like, that was your last race going into COVID and you got a DNF, John. Good job, buddy. Good job, John. I could have easily. It was only 25 miles, but what happened was I got soaked. I way over layered on one of the loops or out and backs. And when I got back to the start to do the next out and back, I was just soaked and I didn't have a change of clothes. People were like, I'll give you my clothes. You can go out there and finish. I was just like, nah, I'm good. I was so dumb. Sometimes I do that. If you look at my DNFs on Ultra Sign Up, I've got some I could easily finish. And that's one thing that gets to me. I don't want to do that anymore. If I sign up for a race, I really want to finish it. And I don't want to just sign up for a bunch of races and DNF them anymore. I want to get out of that mindset because I've done it in the past and I'm done with that life.
And also it's hard to layer up in winter because like I said, I'm in Berlin and it's cold most of the time. I finally bought a jacket that I can wear, but before that, because of the sickness, last winter I think I was okay because I just moved from Phoenix, so I had all the vitamin D. But then I lived here over a year and then all the vitamin depleted. I was reading that most of the sickness that happens because of the vitamin D deficiency, like a lot of running related issues are with that too, like the calf pain, the body ache, and everything that happens is kind of related to vitamin D. So now I started taking supplement and now I have the jacket, so now I've at least prepared. But he said it's very hard to know what to put on because I have worn 4 layers and it's still cold.
Oh yeah, this winter was weird. Initially, I was still wearing shorts and stuff. I run really hot. I'm always sweaty and stuff. That's some races you'll see me just wearing shorts and a singlet. If I go slower on ultras and stuff, I put on more layers. But if I'm trying to actually run, I don't like wearing tights or any of that stuff. I really can't run fast wearing that stuff that fit completely right or feel good to run in. So if I'm hiking and doing mountain stuff, I don't mind wearing them. But if I'm actually running, nah, man, I gotta be in shorts.
Yeah, I used to run in shorts, but not anymore. After this winter, winter I put on a
that might have been what contributed to the pneumonia. Also, just running in cool temps, just not having enough stuff. But I've always been. I don't know. Maybe I should be more careful with that. But I'm still gonna do my thing.
But it's over time because it builds up. So it may not be one run, but when you keep doing it repeatedly, then one day you'll catch the cold because I think that's probably happened.
I think I was enough bats for my body with that, and just I think I was gonna go down no matter what. So just gotta be smarter. You can't do all the dumb things. You gotta balance out.
Yes.
You can't do all the dumb things. If you do all the dumb things, then you're gonna get pneumonia and you're not gonna be able to run. And you're probably gonna take. It's gonna take about another 6 months to get yourself right to run again.
It's hard. It's hard because it's not fun. I've gone to 4 months, so it's not worth it, man.
Mm-mm. This is gonna sound bad, but the only ultra I've ran this year, I DNF'd. I was trying to do a 200-mile race, and I knew better too because I came off the pneumonia, and then I didn't really have much training after that, and then I got a stomach bug the week of the race. So this was supposed to be a 200-mile race. I only got one loop done. It's 27 miles. I need to fix myself. I didn't sign up for anything else after that. I was just demoralized after that loss.
It is hard. Losses are hard, especially if you have planned this to run big miles and then you just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I knew that I didn't have it in me to do more than the loop there. I went out and tried, even after having the stomach bug and then pneumonia and all that. But if you feel like you can't do more than the loop or you're struggling on the first loop, just stop. No one's going to talk trash or anything. You were out there. They weren't. They don't know what you're going through. They don't know what your physical level is at the moment. So that's why I say if you're just out there, and also just be smart and don't sign up for a race if you don't show up if you're not feeling that well. That's a fine line. Some people are, oh, you at least towed the line. But then at the same time, should I have been out there? So I had my own reasons for being out there at that race because I was racing my buddy and I liked a lot and he passed away. So I really wanted to be out there. But at the same time, I probably shouldn't have just because I was sick. But I did it and it kicked my ass. And
at least you tried.
Yeah. Well, and because of that also, it pretty much forced me to want to do better and get right.
I think that's the thing is we can just try it and then if it doesn't work, then you can just go back to the drawing board again and try to and you were not healthy. So I think that's the important part is you fixed it and then you stopped. So
I think about this stuff a lot. Like if I did bad on a race, I think about it and it does motivate me to do more. I can't believe I let that happen. How do I fix this? I take those losses to heart, man. If I have to DNF, it's funny. I've finished a lot of races. I've finished way more races than I've DNF'd, but I always think about the DNFs, even though some of them I've had to do it, but those are the ones that are here. The wins, I've won races before. I've done really well in races. I've barely finished races. I've done a lot of them, but I always think about the ones I didn't finish, especially ones that I could have easily done.
I think those are the scars.
They are, man. That's what makes runners runners. It's cool if you don't have any DNFs, good on you. But for me, that's who makes me. I won't think about when I'm on my deathbed, man. I'll be thinking about all those runs that I could have finished. That's just how I am. I don't think that's a negative view or a depressive view. I don't know. I can't get those ahead.
I think that's what makes you stronger because when you have a DNF, it gives you extra motivation to do well, and then you're going to be, okay, I need to prepare well, or whatever happened, then you're going to be, okay, I need to be smart about it. I need to do something. I need to do X, Y, Z to do better. So I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. It's your toughness too, because you don't know what happens in a race day. You could be perfectly fine training for it, but then when it comes, he says stomach the week before, fever the day, literally anything can happen. So DNF means nothing, but if you go back and finish it, then that's what counts.
That's the sweetest thing in the world right there. When you go back and finish, that's a super rewarding feeling. And there's a lot of races I need to do that with. I need to go back and do. Hopefully I'm able to do it. But that's the best feeling in the world right there, man. Not only just finish the race, but just crush it. You feel so good.
If you go back and do it again, then that's okay. You got it, man. That's how it should be.
It makes me, I love that feel. It's great.
So now I think we're going to talk a little bit of a different topic. It's the things you openly talk about, the alcohol and stepping into the fatherhood. Those are totally different kind of identity shift. How did they change the way you see yourself now?
I went through a big process with growing up, basically. When I got out of the military, I was a mess from alcohol and stuff like that. I still partied when I got out of the Navy as an adult. And basically, it took me getting in trouble, driving under the influence of alcohol twice to really get it together. And it took that to make me wake up. And then too long after that, I had my daughter. So between the two events, the law made me stop. And then my daughter kept me forever from wanting to touch it again because I want to be a good influence to her. I think part of that is why I really got into running too, because that helped me be fit. So she would have a positive role model to want to be fit also. And she's a great athlete. Now she's 11. She's a dancer and she's crushing her competitions and stuff like that. So the team effort with my former spouse, my family, my mom, we've all encouraged her, but we've all tried to be really good role models for her. So I think that's the thing. Once you have a kid, for me anyway, once I have my daughter, I just want to be the best me possible for her to see. The best her. Just to kind of I don't think there's anything wrong with really showing kids that you're into sports and even obsessive a little bit. You don't want your kid to end up being super addicted to a sport, but at the same time, if they love it, and my daughter loves dance, I'm not going to tell her not to dance or anything like that. I'm going to push her either. I'm not going to be like, oh, you have to get this medal and blah, blah, blah. But I love watching her compete. It's really fun. I don't push her. I let her do her own thing. If anything, I have to talk her down. I'm like, hey, I don't tell her to chill or anything. I don't tell her to relax, but I try to get her to just enjoy it. I think a lot of kids, it's unfortunate, at least in the United States, I think that a lot of kids are just, even at early ages, they don't really have fun playing sports. They just want to be perfect. They're a professional athlete, and that's not healthy. I think the good thing about running, then also just in general, for me running, I know I'm not a professional athlete. I may do good on occasion, but it's more for me to have fun and for my mental health, stuff like that. I try to just kind of encourage my daughter the same thing. If good stuff happens with her and she ends up getting scholarships and stuff like that, cool. I think what's getting lost with sports in general in this country is just that people are trying to push them way too far and not have fun at all.
And also, let's talk about the sobriety that you had, and you've been staying sober for so long. What has been the toughest part of staying sober, and what has been the most rewarding part for you?
The main thing, legal system got me the ball moving, and then my daughter really was the catalyst. And then running helped also. But the crazy thing is this, I never really had much adversity after the initial stuff until this year when I had to break up with my girlfriend. That was tough. Even though I knew I had to get out of that situation, it was rough. And I thought about it then. I don't practice the steps. I don't go to AA, but I did go with my cousin when I was visiting him in Florida. So I did go to a bunch of AA meetings with him just to go back to that world and try to get reacclimated, because I did feel really depressed during that period. And I think if you know you're vulnerable, you have to be mature enough to be, hey, this is something that could happen to me. I don't even alcohol, but if you're depressed and you know you are, and that was something you used to kind of help out yourself in the past, you got to be mindful. But you can't think that you're just going to be above that. For me, the main thing is just knowing my limitations. And if I know I'm not in the best state of mind, I just have to be careful. Just being careful, man, and looking out for yourself.
It is hard. And therapy is good. You know,
is.
I do therapy once a month now. I used to do twice a month, and I feel better. I do once a month, and it's so nice, you know. You can heal from the past trauma, whatever you had in your life. And I've certainly had so many since my childhood. So talking to therapists and then trying to get over it. And it helps when you have somebody to talk and you can just talk to them and they just listen to you and gives you feedback and gives. A lot of men struggle because men regarded as a strongest, and you cannot be vulnerable. You'll be looking at a weak person or something like that. So that's bullshit.
There's a stigma, but I mean, I'm hoping that we get away away from that. I think people just
Yeah.
need to really, the main thing is if you have problems, you need to get help. It's like, it doesn't matter if you're a man, woman, whatever you identify as, if you need help, you need to talk to somebody.
Definitely, because you need that person in your life, even if not therapy, just a person, somebody that you can just be open and talk about things. And also, you said you are a dad, right? So we talked about your daughter a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And also, what has changed on your perspective, not just on running, but on life and legacy after becoming a father?
Time management's very hard for me. I've always tried to be me, but at the same time, I want to do my running and all that, but I'm always there for my daughter. Like if you look at my Instagram, a lot of my stuff is doing kid stuff. I want to just be able to balance a lot of time with my kid and just doing my adventures and stuff like that. It's hard. It's hard balancing life, but I want to be remembered for doing the best I could at it and just a life well lived and taking care of the people in my life that deserve it, like my kid and being with family. That's why I always strive to do, just be with the people that are taking care of me and believed in me.
And let's say she's still young, right? 11, but one day she'll be able to look at your life, your journey, and then just go through all of it, ups and downs. So what's one lesson you hope they absorb by seeing how you have lived your life?
I want to believe that she can look back at my decision making. It wasn't always perfect, but for the most part, it was always to set a good example for her. Even though my relationship with her mom ended, she knows that we both love her and it had nothing to do with her. My decision is to help support her, and she knows that she's loved by her parents and eventually find a relationship with somebody that gives her the love that her parents gave her. Know that we put her first. I'm not gonna say I sacrificed everything for my kid, but I've broken up with the relationship so I can spend more time with my daughter a few times. The main thing I want her to know is that I value her and that she's always first.
I agree with you on that part.
It's tough.
Also,
It's tough being a single dad, man. It's really hard.
it is hard, and my kids don't live with me, but I can understand you, man. It's hard, and I think that's the important thing is when things don't work out, then sometimes children think they are the reason, and you said it's not because of them, because two adults who had disagreement and things like that. So things doesn't work sometimes. I think it's important to let them know that we both love each other.
It's tough for them. The marriage doesn't work, but then even after that, if it doesn't work when you're dating somebody, they might think that's them, and it's really hard. And I've had to explain to my daughter that it had nothing to do with her. It's just hard. A lot of times it's just hard to manage time. I do a lot of stuff with my daughter. I work a lot with Donald. There's a lot of other stuff going on.
And in the topic, you do this incredible thing through Ainsley's Angels, and you push athletes with disability through races. It's tough. It's pushing somebody really tough.
Honestly, I like it more than running by myself. You get to talk to somebody and have fun and get the crowd around you. Especially if you're on a big marathon, like Marine Corps Marathon. I love riling up people around me. And I'll try to get them to cheer for them and just to fire the person that I'm pushing. I think it's really fun. I don't think I've ever had a bad experience pushing anyone. I take that back. During the Richmond Marathon, I got injured during it, and I still tried my best to give this guy the greatest time. It's funny. Marathons are funny that you can just tell somebody's having a horrible day. Their expressions and stuff like that. You're like, oh my gosh. I could tell that it was on my face because people, they were all happy and stuff with him. When they saw me, they didn't say anything. They're just like, okay, we're gonna just get this guy. There was this guy with a microphone. He's like, where did you go to school? And then he saw me and was like, that was the only time pushing. I had a really aggressive goal. We ended up not doing bad, but I pulled something while I was pushing him, and it got dark, man. It got really dark, but we had a good time.
So what pulled you into that world of doing this thing?
Donald. So the guy I'm a caregiver for, Donald Harms, him and his dad were at a race, and I saw him there. I had never seen anyone push anyone on a race before. So I saw him lining up on the start line, and not in the back or anything, but in the very front. I was like, what are these guys doing? So I went up and I saw Donald. He's all smiling. I'm like, who's this happy guy? So I was like, hey, what's up? And I lined up by them, and when the gun goes off or whatever, they're out there. I'm like, oh my gosh, these guys are fast. So I couldn't keep up with them. And this race was a weird series of out and backs and stuff. So you would see the leaders coming by you, and they were so far ahead of me. After the race, I was like, who were they? I looked them up, and they were on magazine covers for Manassas. Going back to Manassas, you said you lived there before, but yeah, they lived in Manassas, and basically looked them up and just kind of to see what they did, and they did Ainsley's Angels, and I got involved through Donald. He sold it to me.
Tell us more about the Donald. Being his caregiver, like how's that shaped your emotional strength and your compassion?
Being a caregiver is hard. Donald's an awesome guy, but the job's hard. In this country, you don't get benefits for being a caregiver. The pay is not the greatest. You have to love it. You have to love the person you're caregiving for. And the unfortunate thing is that a lot of caregivers are just family members now. I'm probably a rarity that I'm not related to Donald, but I'm still taking care of him. A lot of times it's just a family member. photographer that does it. Donald's my dude. I love hanging out with him. He loves sports probably more than anybody else I know. And I'm an avid sports fan. All my friends are sports fans, but he loves every sport out there. He'll watch anything on soccer, WNBA, NFL, hockey. Well, not so much hockey. I've tried to get him to watch that before. He doesn't like hockey that much. Baseball is kind of tough to watch right now anyway, too. It's kind of, you can't really watch baseball highlights. It's not like it used to be when I was a kid, but we watch a lot of highlights. We watch a lot of sports. He's just a great guy to hang out with. He likes to eat a lot. Me, because I'm a runner. He's a dude. We get along really well, and I love hanging out with him.
It sucks.
It's
so boring.
I'm not gonna lie, man. So the only time I really like watching it is in person now. I can't watch it on TV anymore. If I do, it's just kind of if I've got an off day and I'm just trying to chill out, which never happens. But if I did have an off day, I would put on baseball and I would just chill out and kind of zone out and pass out watching it. But the best way to watch it is at the games. And we have the Fred Nats here in Fredericksburg. I'm wearing an Oriole. I grew up in this fan because we didn't have the Nationals at the time. And so I grew up on Cal Ripken and stuff like that. But it's not a great product anymore, man. I think if anything, I'd rather watch the NBA, NFL, even hockey, man. I think it's a better product. The WNBA is coming up. There's so many better options than watching baseball. I catch up on the box scores and stuff like that. The Orioles lost again or something. But I don't follow the games much unless I'm at it.
It's boring. I've gone to a few Giants games because I was in California and literally nothing happens. If something happens when you take a hit or something, but the excitement is not there unless it's a high scoring game and you are emotionally invested in watching a particular game, like the game Oakland A's played when they was like breaking their 21 game record, and that was intense. So you emotionally invested.
I think the only games, there's a few ones, if you watch the Red Sox or the Yankees because they're rivals of the Orioles, but I think if you get to go to a Red Sox Yankees game, that's amazing to watch. It doesn't matter what stadium you're at. You could be in New York or Boston. If you get tickets to that, that's a game. Or there's certain things like that, but I think it's dying, man. It's just not fun to watch.
Yeah, I don't like it either. I like you say soccer, but I call it football. I go and see Manchester United time to time.
Oh,
so I get a chance.
So Donald got me. So I didn't know much about soccer. I played when I was a kid, but Donald got me kind of hooked on it because he's from Jamaica. He's got soccer in his blood. Man, he gets so passionate about it, especially the victory. So he plays power soccer, and I'll play with him. When he scores a goal, it's like he saved the world, dude. That's one thing I love about soccer. When somebody scores a goal, I love the victory celebrations, and Donald has that. It's so amazing to watch. I love seeing people score goals in soccer. It's like the best thing in the world, man.
It is fun, and especially if you go to the stadium, it's just like a different kind of fun. The vibe and everything, and it's just like, oh god, yes. Yes. Was there a race when pushing someone turned something deeper, something spiritual or transformative for you?
I think I usually just have fun pushing people. It hasn't gotten that deep. I think the biggest thing was just seeing Donald and his dad the first time. It wasn't even me pushing. It was just seeing them. That is awesome. I want to be a part of that. And I think that's one reason why I want to be Donald's caregiver, just because he's got that power to make people want to do good things and make good choices. And I definitely need that in my life. I think everybody does. But if you find somebody like that, a friend, you don't even have to know Donald or somebody like Donald, but you see them on the TV or Instagram. As bad as people talk about what's on social media, Donald's a powerful force that gets people to want to do good things in life. And I think, if anything, that's the biggest takeaway from pushing for me, is just being able to meet Donald and him inspire me and motivate me.
I've seen his picture. He has like a beautiful smile.
He's solid.
Like, when you look at it and he's just drowning is, it's so nice. I've seen a picture and it's just like, oh wow, God. Even when you look at that, his smile, and it's just so heartwarming, and it's nice. It's just like, oh God.
He's in so much pain. He doesn't complain. He just always wants to do good. He wants to live life. And what's there not to love about that? That's how I look at it. So many unhappy people out there. There's unhappy people with money, without money, fully healthy people that are just miserable, myself included. But I think that's what helps me being with Donald. He gets me to look at myself, hey, you should be happy. You've got everything to live for. So
definitely. And also, you wear so many different types of hat, right? You are a father, caregiver, you are a runner, you are an advocate. How do you manage all of that without burning out?
That's a good question. That's probably my weakest in my life. It definitely led to me getting pneumonia last year. I tried to do way too much, and I do need to work on that to chill out some. I think I am to an extent, but because my daughter's 11, I'm really trying to prioritize her right now. And that means not being able to do some races, but I'm injured anyway, so I can't run anyway. So it kind of worked out this year at the same time, but that's something I really need to work on. I'm not the greatest at it. And honestly, most parents I talk to struggle with the same stuff. It's tough to balance out, especially if you're real ambitious and want to do a lot of crazy stuff. I think moving forward, I learned a lot about myself over the last couple of years, just trying to schedule myself and stretch myself too thin. I think moving forward, I've got a better handle on it, but I have to be mindful of it because it is very hard.
Running is hard, and especially if you do the ultras, then it is so much time. You have to train, and then you have to double train, and then you said you have to balance the father too and give time to that too. So it's hard.
I feel if you're fully prepared for a race, you probably didn't hang out with your kid as much. At least that's what happens to me. It's hard to check all the boxes when you're an ultra runner, a dad, and then just have your basic adult responsibilities. It's hard to do everything. You're going to lack in some area. You're going to leave something on the table, which you shouldn't be. And I think that's one of my biggest fears is just not being able to. I think I'll always, no matter what, question if I should have done my time management differently, just because it's hard to manage. And again, I hope I'm doing the right thing, but I do get scared that later on in life, I'm like, wow, I probably should have done that a little bit differently or something. But I want to believe that I have a good enough heart that I can see what I'm doing is the right thing. And I think sometimes with so much going on, you kind of have to just be, hey, this generally feels like the right thing to do. I'm going to do this. You got to take whatever the repercussions are, you got to be ready for it.
It is hard, we say, balancing everything. It's especially being a father at that age it's tough. It's hard because you need to give more attention to it.
I think
we talked.
One last thing. I think for the last 4 years for me, I really struggled I always thought I was a bad dad. Even though I spent a lot of time with my daughter and we do a lot of stuff together, I always felt that I was bad if I went to any races. So it was really weird. I wasn't fully able to have a good time at a lot of races I was at. Some of my DNFs, I just felt I needed to be back to my daughter. I would just leave the race. Get to a race the night before and not even want to go there just because I felt bad leaving my kid. But I think that I don't know what the right word is for it, but as a parent, you just feel you can't have that for yourself. You need to be with your kid. You need to have your own things. You need to be able to have fun also in addition to being a parent, but you feel guilt that you should be doing more.
So in this thought right now that we are in, what would you say to a single parent, you, with the same kind of thought, we're going through this moment in life where, oh, should I go work hard? I just stay here because they are feeling so much of guilt and everything right now.
Honestly, I don't even know what to say. You're never going to do wrong by being with your child ever. If you can, find a way to somehow bring your child with you to the race or something if you want to do that, but it's tough. My daughter's only been to a couple of my races. Wouldn't want to drag her to a 100-mile race or something like that. She almost got to meet Laz, though, the Barkley Marathons guy. She missed him by 15 minutes because I did a backyard ultra in Virginia, the Capital Backyard Ultra, and she left and then he came. I was like, oh man, I could have got a picture. But so she's been to some of my races, but I always feel that would be torturous for a child having to make them wait like that. And then I feel like she might not even like running. I've done some races with my daughter that are amazing times. I hope at some point I can run the Marine Corps Marathon with my daughter. I've told this to everybody. My daughter probably is going to be like, she's probably going to spite me and not do it just because I probably pushed running too much on her. I don't mean to, but she's ran races with me in the past. We've done 5Ks and stuff. I love doing it. Those are real fond memories running. It's a tough balance. I don't even know what I would say to somebody. I think it's real individual. You just kind of have to assess what you're doing, what your priorities are. And some people prioritize relationships over kids, and that's their thing. I don't think that's right. I've always tried to put my daughter over, me. It sounds bad, but me finding somebody. But I think that's more important, man. I don't think you could. For me, I can't put anyone over my child. That's just me.
I know that feeling. And also, I think we talked a little bit, maybe. You said that you didn't always feel like you fit in. And what helped you finally find your place?
So I'm kind of a weird guy. I never really fit into one clique. I never did in school or anything like that. I'd have people from here, people from there. I never really fit in one little box. Then when I joined the military, I kind of got more of an audience, I guess. Yeah, because I just say whatever and people would laugh at me. So I started getting more friends when I was in the military. And I have really dark humor. So people in the military, they eat that stuff up. But I think that really translates to the ultra world because I think that a lot of the ultra community is me. They're from some kind of trauma. There's people that aren't. They're fully normal or whatever normal is these days, but there's some of them. But I feel the community is kind of offbeat and some weirdos me. So I feel I really fit in. It feels a lot in the military, but I feel I'm closer to them than I was to people in the military. Just a bunch of freaks and weirdos, and I love them. That's my people. I just feel, it's so funny, especially the more screwed up, I've said this to a bunch of people before, but the more messed up races I do, Barkley Fall Classic, or just name a crazy race I've done, I feel the runners that are looking for harder challenges, they're even more interesting. And I just meeting different people that, why are you doing this? Oh, you're doing this because you were me. In this respect, it's fun to talk to people at races that what makes them tick. I bet a lot.
And also, I think running is such a thing that when you meet somebody who runs, then you automatically click. So I think that's why we all fit in. Even though we have never met each other, then we can have generally nice conversation about it because it's the same interest.
It's so funny if you wear a JFK 50-mile shirt. If a runner sees you that's ran that or thinking about running it, it doesn't matter if you know him or not. You're going to have probably at least a 10-minute conversation with the person. Or a Marine Corps Marathon shirt, or just throw out a Cherry Blossom 10-miler. If you something, oh, that's a bucket list race for me. You're going to have at least 10-minute conversation with a total stranger. But because of running, you're already a friend with the person. It's an incredible community, and you don't really find it elsewhere. But I will say this, because it's an incredibly small community also, you got to be careful too. It's good and bad. You got to be careful. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Okay.
Just going to leave it at that.
Okay. And also, How do you protect your peace now? What keeps you grounded?
Oh, that's a good question. For me, I've been doing a lot of yoga because I'm injured also, so that helps. But breathing and just the grind of the gym also. For me, it's just I like the process. As much as I talk trash about going to the gym and stuff like that, the combination of doing that work and then the yoga and breathing and meditating, it's almost like the long run. Don't get me wrong, I miss the long run. I miss running a lot and just being able to think about stuff alone, just by myself. But I think that's what helps me out, just being able to think about stuff while I'm working out and doing meditation.
And also, we talked about this topic a little bit earlier on about the masculinity. What does being a man mean to you now compared to 5 years, 10 years ago? I think it's a very philosophical question.
It's
all of
it's an interesting question.
It's a
I just honestly, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I try to be a gentleman at all times. I try to set a good example for my daughter. I think that's one thing. I think in this day and age, it is pretty tough. You have to set a good example. It's kind of crazy out there. I don't know. All I can do is just be a good person. I say weird things from time to time, but I never try to. I don't know. How can I explain this? I always try to conduct myself in a manner that I feel my daughter would, if she saw it when she gets older on YouTube or something, or just reading about me, or if she stumbled onto something of me, it would reflect good on me and make her know that I had everyone's interest in mind and not trying to be a jerk or anything like that. I just try to be a good person. I think as long as you do that, just generally don't be mean, don't hurt people, just be a good person.
Right, fair enough. That's a good thought.
I tried. I
And
mean,
also,
very hard.
things have
I grew up in the
things has changed a lot.
I grew up in the 80s, man, where action movies, craziness, it changed a lot. And I think it's a lot for the better. It's just different, man. I think that it's different.
I agree. Things have changed a lot. So, and we're gonna talk a little bit about your races and things that you do because it's crazy. So, I think it would be nice to know about what pulls you towards the challenges. So, you are drawn to the races, the Germans, Invitational, and then the Korean Group Marathon. Those are the things. So, what pulled you towards this specific challenge?
The Invitational Marathon is one of my favorite races. It's in the peak heat here in Virginia. I think it's in early August, but it's one of my favorite races. It starts at noon, so it's already hot out by the time you get to the start line. You basically just go up and down this horrible gravel road. There's no good views or anything on it. There's a dump on the road. It's a weird race, but you just so if you go up and down it the amount of times you need to finish, it ends up being, I think, 28 miles and I think 9,000 feet of vert. It's rough. It is rough, and it's very hot out, but it's fun because you're just going out and back, so you see everyone else struggling too. So it just becomes kind of this thing where you're just giving other people encouragement. It kind of just embodies all ultra running to me because it's just you versus the course. I would never try to win this race, but at the same time, I want to encourage other people to finish. So it's kind of like the camaraderie. I kind of like the challenge, and that's why I got into ultras to begin with, marathons. But the community is really type A, and everyone wants to race each other, and that's how I get injured trying to do that stuff. And there's also a lot of creepiness in that sport. People looking at each other's times and trying to compare. I hate that. I don't want to compare myself to other people. I just want to be the best me I can be. I feel like at least when I got into running, that's how it was. It's getting more marathon running, I think, ultras, but for me, I just to see if I can finish. And I think the Germans is kind of a perfect race. Yeah, it's funny. The people that put it on, they have these characters that they put on. They have their wigs, and yeah, it kind of just is. Like I said, it's kind of an ultra runner's ultra running event. It's just a weird race that I wish we had more of.
That sounds crazy.
It's fun. It's really fun.
Yeah, that sounds.
But as brutal as it is and as hard as it is, I think it's just enjoyable just because it's so goofy.
I cannot imagine running 9,000 meters on a costume.
Up and down,
in a hot summer.
You just go up and down it, and there's a train track on it too. And sometimes the train will come and it stops the race, so you'll see people just sitting down waiting for. It's so funny.
Insane.
It's just a goofy race, and I love it. It's one of my favorite. Oh, and if you finish the race 5 times, they give you a pair of jorts, cut off jean shorts.
Oh.
It says gym on the back for Jarman's Invitational Marathon. This will be my 4th. And then next year I'll get the jorts, and I will wear them. I will wear them everywhere.
Yeah,
they will become a part of me.
Definitely,
they will become a part of me.
Yes, definitely, because that's like a medal which you cannot sew, but you can wear it.
Those are the treasures. Don't get me wrong, I like medals and stuff. On occasion, like the Marine Corps medals and stuff, I think those are really cool. Certain races, but I like funny things when they give it to you, or food items they give you instead of you know, when they try to do something a little bit different. I like that.
Yeah, no thanks. It's too much. I cannot handle it, but then it's 9,000. It's way too much work. So I need to train for it.
It's fun, and also I don't try to win it. I have a strategy. I'll run the first couple loops slow. When I say slow, I mean slow. I go up it really slow and then run down it. As the race goes on, I just kind of hike. I kind of hike, run up it. There's spots that you can run going up it, believe it or not, even though it sucks. And then just try to run it going downhill. A lot of ultra running is, to me, it's just management like that. If you know where to run and where to walk, you can pull it off. You know, just game management, man. That's all ultra running is.
Yeah, that's been one of my biggest change because like I said, this is the first week of training, and if I see a hill, then I always run through it. now I may run half of it, then I'll walk it because I don't want my heart rate to go all the way up. So I try to just balance it that way. It's such a nice thing.
People have different strategies. Some people have every 20 steps running, you take 10 steps walking or whatever it is. I think that's kind of why I like ultra running. You see a lot of cool technique out there that people utilize, and it's easy to apply to your own, or just if you see something cool, snag bits and pieces of it and apply it to what you do. It's a weird, quirky sport. I hope it stays weird, man. I've met so many interesting people. I think what scares me now, and don't get me wrong, I like social media. I think it's done a lot of good things for running, but at the same time, people are more competitive and sport's not as funny and cool as it used to be. Don't get me wrong, it's still fun, but I just hope it stays weird. I like the funny vibe to ultra running. I just hope it stays quirky.
This is my first one, so
you're gonna love it.
I'm gonna let you know how I do it and see how it happens.
I want a full race report
about it.
I want a full report too. No, you're gonna have a great time, man. I meant to ask you, so have you heard of that? I don't know where it is in Germany.
Like 100-miler.
Well, I don't know if it's 100-miler, but it's underground in a salt mine.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
I was looking for it.
Is it in Germany?
It's like
I can check it out.
It's an abandoned salt mine. I've wanted to do that race, but it's really weird to get into it. I showed my friend that's from Germany here. I showed her the website, and she was like, she knows German, and she didn't really understand the concept of it. I was like, okay, well, all right. I've never done a race underground before. I knew they're popping up. There's one somewhere in Europe, but yeah, there's a couple big ones underground. There's supposed to be one in Germany, abandoned salt mine. I would love to do an underground ultra. I think that would be really weird and scary and cut off your senses.
I know people run through the train track and stuff like that, but I don't know. I'm going to check it out and let you know.
Let me know. See what it is. Yeah, it's like a real underground race. And to me, like, those are the type of races that are the best. Like, we have so many underground races here in Virginia. The Jarman's Invitational Marathon. If you just look them up, a lot of them are free, or you bring an item, just like food or something. Yeah, that's what I hope we keep in the ultra community. That doesn't go away, because there's a lot of races that are expensive.
Yeah.
Expensive races out there now, and things are changing.
I know the thing about, in particular in Berlin, in Germany, it's so cheap because they don't give you the short. If you want short, then you can buy it. But usually, if you do a half marathon, it's like $25. A marathon is like $30-$50. So it's not so much. But in US, it's like 170, 180 is like crazy. It's like a business.
And I think that's the problem with it now. I think that there's a lot of races that are $1,000 now. Just crazy amounts of money. But I have so many race shirts and medals. I have boxes of them. I had to get rid of a lot of race shirts just because what are you going to do with all of them? I don't need any of that stuff. I'm starting to really just low-key races that don't give out that stuff, and you just run it just to run it.
Yeah, and here they don't give you the short unless you buy it, then you get it, but short, like, you have to buy it. And sometimes it gets too much. Like, once you start doing a lot of races, then what do you do with all the shorts?
I've got boxes of stuff. I need to donate to a couple organizations. Shirts, I've just started donating those to the Salvation Army. It's a lot of stuff. Runners don't need that much stuff. It's after a while, it's just stuff. You gotta get rid of it.
Yeah, true. And also, you do these two kind of thing, right? So when you are pushing somebody, then it's a totally different mindset, and when you're running solo, it's totally different mindset. So what is your strategy when you're pushing somebody and when you're running solo? If there is a lot of differences between them.
That's interesting. A lot of times pushing somebody, I just try to give them a good time. If they want to go fast, we'll go fast. If they want to stop and get some food or something, or if I see somebody cool on the side, I'm like, hey, you want to take a picture with them? Or marathon, somebody dresses up or something as Batman or whatever the case is. Hey, you want to take a picture of Batman? We'll do that. Or if we see somebody we know, we'll stop and take a picture. I just did an awesome race not too long ago. Do you remember Sheetz when you were here in Manassas? The gas station Sheetz? So there's a gas station here called Sheetz, and they do a race. You go from one Sheetz to another one. It's a 14-mile stretch that you do on a trail, and it's a towpath, just kind of like a crushed limestone or whatever. It's not like a trail, but it's just kind of on I don't know, it's just the towpath. But anyway, I was pushing this dude, and this race has awesome snacks at our stations. So they had s'mores. So we just stopped and we ate a bunch of s'mores. They had hot chocolate one, hot cider. They had pretzels. This race just has all this really good food. So we would just stop. So I think when I push people, it's just kind of whatever they want to do. If they want to go quick, we'll go quick. But if they want to stop, we stop. If I'm by myself, it just kind of depends on the race. If I want to get a PR, I'll push myself fast. But on ultras, I just like to chill out, kind of like when I push somebody. I'll just run with people. I'm never trying to crush it like an ultra. I just want to survive and get through it. I love running marathons and shorter distance races, but to me, it's almost toxic because I feel like I push way too hard and I don't enjoy it. And then if I don't get the time I want, then I'm mad. And it's also easier for me to get injured pushing faster pace. So part of me is, should I even run under a marathon distance anyway? Maybe I should just do a slower pace and do ultras and be happy, but I don't know. I got some stuff to sort out on the races I want to do, but yeah, I definitely want to keep doing ultras for sure. And again, for me, there's a lot of local races I like doing, and I want to keep doing those ones, but can't get injured doing all these races. Yeah.
Definitely. Smaller races where you get injured.
Local ones here in Fredericksburg, I think when you see people you've ran with forever, you want to race them and stuff like that. Is it worth it? Do you want to get yourself yourself hurt. You want to push for that PR. I don't know, man. I'd rather just run, be able to run consistently, slower, and do ultras and stuff like that. But we'll see. There's a good balance too. Sometimes it is good to switch up and go fast on occasion, but I don't know. I got to balance out, right? I'm such a running addict. I got to just, it's hard. It's hard for me to manage it, man. It's tough.
I think there needs to be a fine line of balance on which race to push and where you can just chill and just enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, then it's no point running it.
Unless they want to go fast. So he doesn't want to stop anywhere. He wants to just crush everybody. And that's cool. If that's what you want to do, that's cool. It just kind of depends on the person. If the rider is, go, 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 I'm all right, let's do it. But I'll always ask. I'll be like, I'm not going to push whatever I want to do on them. It's just whatever they want to do.
True. And also, you have done so many races we just talked about. Has there been a race that broke you and rebuilt you all in the same?
So pretty much any 100-miler race I do is going to break me. And then I'll feel happier a couple weeks after it's over. I did it. But 100-milers they're no joke. I've never felt good after a 100-miler. Actually, no, I take the back. I did one and I felt okay. It was a weird one. It was around a track. The next day, oh my gosh. So I did this race in New Jersey. It was a 24-hour race around a track. I somehow won it. I got over 100 miles in something absurd for me. I think it was like 21 hours or something like that. That was really fast for me because before that, my fastest was just under 24 hours. But the day after, I didn't even get any sleep. I had to drive from New Jersey to Baltimore for my daughter's dance intensive. She was doing the class and they took pictures of me. I was so tired. I was just sleeping on the floor. But that was the best 100-miler I've ever had. But most of the time, it's just a lot of suffering. And then I'm just happy it's over. The 100 miles are the killer. There is another one too, though. If you ever look up Dude's Revenge up in the Catskills in New York, that race is crazy. I left it the first time. It crushed me. And with that one, I just got over COVID and I was weak and I still tried to run anyway. I probably shouldn't even attempted to do it, but I had a campsite booked and my girlfriend at the time wanted to go and that race wrecked me. So I went back the year after and finished, but it wasn't a great time or anything. It was a really hard race. I finished and I probably never want to do that one again, but I was happy I finished it. But ultras are weird like that. It's almost like I question even why I do it because it's so much struggle, but it does make me happy once I'm done with it. After a couple weeks after, I'll be like, some races I'm like, I'm never going to run again after this. Even while I'm on the race, I'm like, this is horrible. I don't know why I do this to myself. But then it's funny, a week later, you're like, all right, when's the sign up for next year? It's so funny. We lie to ourselves so much.
I think that's when you're running, then doing it. And then as soon as you're finished or in a week, then you're like, okay, let's see what is the another race I can go and make myself pitiful and then make myself go through with all this torture again.
I don't even know how to describe it. It's a really weird thing with running, but
I think we just want to push ourselves.
We get bored otherwise. What am I going to do? Go to the gym and swim? If I'm not injured, I'm not going to want to do that. Where's the thrill in swimming? I want to go climb a mountain and slide down a bunch of briars. Races are so crazy, especially some of the really, really hard ones. I look back at some of the races I've done. I don't even know how I was that motivated at the time to do it. Hopefully I get that back, but I probably will. I don't know. We'll see. It's funny. Running's funny. It's funny how you go through that stuff. You're like,
I know what you mean. It's just some we even question later on saying, okay, what the hell I'm doing? These are the questions I had for you, but then we can talk about some of the stuff that you wear.
Okay.
Interesting questions. So training shoes versus your race shoes, what's your go-to?
Okay, so I'm not very picky. Some people with shoes, I'm kind of lucky. I review shoes for Believe in the Run, so I get to try out a lot of different shoes. Basically, I just look for comfort, especially on longer races. I just look for comfort, but where I do get picky, and this is another reason I probably need to stop road running as much, is that I like the high-end Nike Alpha and Vaporflies. Like, those are my shoes. I really like running those, but when it comes to trail, I'm not as picky. I'll just get something that's a little bit more comfortable because I don't try to go fast on the trail, but on road I can run faster. I mean, it gets me into trouble a lot with injury, but if I'm running on road, I'll have more high-end shoes, but I'm not very picky on trail. If the shoe fits me, it's not super bulky, it's comfortable. I can wear a lot of different shoes, so Nike's probably my go-to on the road, but on trail, pretty flexible. I like a lot of different Brooks shoes. I like a lot of Adidas. Like I said, I'm pretty flexible. For watch, I've used Coros a lot. I've got a Garmin right now. The Garmin's cool. It's got more features than the Coros, but I love the battery of the Coros. That lasts forever. Soon too. I want to try, maybe eventually I'll get to do a review on a watch, but I pretty much fluctuate between this and Garmin right now. Then hydration packs and stuff like that. I used to use Usui a lot, and I don't think I'm going to change anytime soon. I used to be an ambassador with them, and great company. I'm doing a lot of other stuff though, so I haven't really done that much. I haven't reapplied to do that just because I've been busy, but Usui's really cool for hydration packs. It just fits me well. That was the thing with hydration packs. I couldn't find one that fit me for a long time. I used Orange Mud for a while and then sick of just like, yeah, I know. One, everyone rips you because it looks quirky, but then also you got the bottles in the back. It would get caught on stuff, certain races with the Usui pack. It's easier to get the stuff. So I use them for my hydration pack. And then I'm a pretty minimal runner, man. If I'm doing certain races, I'll just have a belt and a water bottle. But if I'm doing something harder, I wear that pack. But I'm not a gear nerd, even though I write reviews and stuff. I gear a lot. I'm looking at new stuff, but I'm pretty minimal, man. As long as the main thing is shoes. If my shoes are comfortable, I'm good. And again, I only get picky on the road. Certain high-end shoes I really like on road, but trail, man, I'll pretty much wear anything.
What gear help you with most recovery?
Ooh, that's a tough question. And this is something maybe that I should invest more in. So I have a Theragun that I use, but I don't know. Do you think that those really help? I've never really had success using like the Theragun to make me feel better. If anything, I feel better. I think for me though, I feel better if I'm just doing the gym stuff and I don't know, doing the actual stuff. I feel like whenever you use a Theragun, it's just kind of a last ditch resort. Maybe I'm just using it wrong, but I think if anything, the only thing I really liked, I haven't purchased a pair, but if anyone lets me use them, is the Normatec boots or whatever. Those are awesome.
Recovery boot.
Those are amazing. I just don't own a pair, so I haven't been able to use those. But yeah, if I had those, I would just sit in front of a TV and watch that if I had time, or read a book or write some reviews while those things are going off. I mean, that's pretty much it for recovery. Pretty minimal though. Like I said, kind of with the running, I usually just use a tennis ball to roll things out or just biofreeze.
It works. I don't have Theragun, but I have other massage gun that I use, and it helps with the recovery when the muscles are tight. And I did a podcast with Alex, and she's mobility coach, and she has this ball she designed, and then I started using that on my quads and on my glutes and stuff, and it works because when you're sore and you use it, then you can feel your legs when it hits that spot where there is a little bit of tightness and there is a little bit of like thing going on. So once I started using it, it works. Those balls are the best investment I've ever made so far in terms of recovery and things.
I don't think they're bad. I'd rather just go to the gym and use the sauna and the hot tub and just swim. I feel like after I do a run, that just feels better anyway. And that's what I should be doing anyway. Also doing cross training and maybe just throw some weights in there. Like, I feel like that stuff helps. For me, if I'm just using a Theragun, I just feel like that's last ditch effort. Oh, I hope I feel better after this. If I want to have a real good routine, I got to just get into the habit of going to the gym after I run. We get injured. You don't care as much because of time. We feel like we're forced to utilize things off the routine, or we spend time on what we need to for recovery because we just don't have it. That's probably would be the best recovery tool ever. If I could get 8 hours of sleep a night, that would be phenomenal.
Sauna definitely helps because once you go, and then it tells that when you go and use the hot pack or you sit in a sauna, then the expand, and then that helps the blood flow faster. So that way, if you have any soreness or the spots where you had some trouble or friction running, the more the blood flows, the better, the faster the recovery.
I don't know why I got out. It's probably time management, but I should never have gotten out of the habit of, I would always try, if I did a big run, a long run or something, go to the gym after, and you don't even have to work out or anything. Just swim a little bit, go in the hot tub, and go in the sauna. If you do that, I feel it's just so much better than any kind of recovery tool that they sell out there, because you're just doing a lot more than just rubbing that on a spot or something. It's actually helping you out. That's how I look at it. Don't get me wrong, I like the Theragun and stuff too, but the best thing would take the Theragun with you into the sauna. That would be amazing. I should start throwing my Theragun in my gym bag just so I remember it for recovery.
But you just have to be careful because if it overheats, then it doesn't work, like your cell phone too.
I gotta be careful with that. Those things are expensive. You don't want to break those.
A lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
And also, what's your fueling during you do your ultras? Gels, PB&J, and waffles?
I'll use gels on road races just because it's quick and easy and it's there, but they do hurt my stomach. If I'm on an ultra, I try to eat more real food if it's at the aid station, or whatever I'm craving. If it's something sweet, I'll get some candy, or if I need some chips for salt. It's just whatever I'm feeling. If I'm dehydrated, just crushing water or whatever the case is. It's just all situational. One funny race, this was early on when I started running. I did this race, Burning River, in Ohio, and I was so dehydrated and hot and overheated because that race I think is in July. Thinking about doing that this year, but I gotta get right first. I love that race. But anyway, I was so messed up. They gave me a can of V8. They were like, drink this. I was like, what? But I drank it and I felt perfect after, because I guess like all that salt and stuff like that. But it was the weirdest thing. So it's, for me, it's all situational. Like a different person every time I go to a different aid station. It's so weird the kind of stuff people take. I used to drink a lot of Ensure because I didn't want to eat when I ran. Ensure works good. It just kind of depends where I'm at. I try not to. I'll bring gels with me just in case, but a gel's not going to fix every situation you're in for some people, but I try to just be open to the situation, what's around me.
That makes sense.
I always tell new runners, go to a running store and get fitted by a specialist just to make sure you're in the right stuff. I know that's the nerdy answer, but it's true. It's so funny when people start running and they have perceptions of what their foot is when it's not, or whatever the case is, and then they go out and do excessive running, get injured. You go to somebody that works in a running store, get fitted properly, and then after that, make your own assumptions of what you need, test different things out, and start dialing in what you you need shoe wise, but I think so many people just assume stuff when they first start running and they develop issues just because they didn't really think it out for their running gear.
Yeah, fittings and going to the running store, I think is one of the most critical thing that you have to do as a new runner, because you don't know what your gait is, or you don't know if you have a pronation or anything, and then you might need the stability shoes at the beginning because you are not used to running on the foot a lot. So I think that will help a lot.
I got lucky. So the first time I really got into running when I started training for a marathon, I had a pair of fashion shoes, New Balance, but they were more geared for fashion. They were expensive shoes, but they weren't like a real running shoe. So I used them initially and they weren't bad. Like they didn't mess me up or anything. But then the next time I was just thinking these are pretty cool. But instead of going to a place that sells sneakers, cool stuff, I went to the running store and just made sure that I had somebody look at me. I think that's a really smart move because you want to talk to other runners also, especially if you're new, not just to get an idea of gear, but then also to talk about races and what you want to do too, because they are more expensive at a running store, but you're going to learn a lot about the community from them, what's out there, so you can kind of formulate what you want to do as a runner. I think it's a good way, at least initially. And if you don't want to go back there after, find out what works for you and then go online or go to Believe in the Run and read there. But I think that one thing that's good about running stores is that it's physical, it's there. Like, they can actually look at your feet. The reviews on like Believe in the Run are amazing. Like I think like, even if you didn't know much about running, you could probably use those reviews and be fine. But for me, I needed to have a look at me and just look at my gait and everything and just kind of see how I was doing as a runner or just initially getting started. So I picked the right shoes going forward.
Same. I've had these issues where I didn't pick the right shoes and I had so many injuries. And later on, I found out that I was wearing a different kind of heel to toe drop shoes. If you wear one heel to toe drop and then you keep switching on it, it screws up your Achilles and it screws up your calf. So I think I had to learn a very hard lesson. Now I know my preferred heel to toe drop 8 millimeters, so I stick with the 8 millimeters. I buy all drops, so that way there's no problem, you know.
Well, we're all different. I can pretty much wear anything. I just try to keep fresh shoes because I normally put on a lot of miles and I just want to have a fresh shoe. One thing that's weird about shoes is people think there's a set mileage that you have to keep them for, which to me, I might keep it for 100 miles. My guideline is this: if it starts to feel weird or hurts, then I get rid of it. I think that's one thing.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and I rode shoes a lot, so I'll have a lot of different ones to rotate from day to day, just because if I wear the same stuff over and over, I'll get injured.
And also, what's in the backdrop at mile 60 of a 100-mile race?
Oh, that's a good question. So this is going back to coffee, this is a big time vice of mine. I love the cans of Nitro Cold Brew, the Starbucks Nitro Cold Brew. You have that in your pack and that's like rocket fuel, man. Or another one, Black Rifle Coffee. Got this one that has just obscene amount of caffeine. I took one on the last loop of the Wild Oak Trail when I finished it last year and I was just dying getting to that. And once I drank that, I became a different person. There's something about caffeine late on an ultra that just, it's amazing. You have unicorns trailing you behind and you've got, everything's going right. There's pure happiness when it comes to caffeine. But anything caffeinated, what else? Candy. I want to say a Payday bar. Paydays are really good. I wouldn't put it in my drop bag, but if it's available, pizza. Going back to clean eating and health, I will eat whatever. If I'm doing a 100-mile race, I'm eating whatever. I don't care what my diet is, so I would eat that. But I think the main thing that gets me a mental boost is that caffeine. I love Nitro Cold Brew. And I don't drink it all the time on ultras. If it's getting nighttime, especially even after mile 60, the wee hours, if I'm taking longer, I'm going to crush that stuff.
Interesting choice. And also, do you carry any sentimental during long races? You know, photo or something like that?
That's a good question.
Take some strength from it?
That's a good question. I should do that. I've never done that before. I don't wear jewelry or I have a picture of my daughter in my car at a photo booth, but I've never taken anything really that on me. I've always thought about, so my former girlfriend, I wanted to eventually propose to her on a race. I was going to take a ring with me and propose to her, but we fought so much and even on runs and stuff like that too. So I was just, this is probably way too much information, but that's the only thing I ever considered doing, but I couldn't justify it because we argued way too much and it didn't work.
And so let's say if somebody is listening to you right now, right? So they are in this part of the podcast where they gone through all of it and they are battling with addiction and struggling with identity. So what's one message from you to them?
Find your goals. It's a hard thing to do, but find your goals, stick to them, fall in love with them, and just commit yourself. Even though I can't run right now, I'm highly motivated to get healthy by going to the gym. I don't particularly the gym, as I've mentioned previous times on this podcast, but I'm sticking with it because I want to get back to running. And yeah, as long as you have goals, you can get through it. But if you're rudderless, you don't have goals, you're just looking at other people's goals, don't fall into that mindset. Do what makes you happy. Fall in love with what you want to do in life and just chase it. Just chase what you want to do and don't get caught up in other people's stuff. Just celebrate you and what you want to do.
And also, I've asked this question to literally everybody. Most of the people before that I came on the podcast. Running has changed my life because
It's given me, I don't want to say purpose because I would say my daughter is my purpose, but it's like a good supplementary. It's being a dad, it keeps me fit, it makes me happy. It helps me just kind of be me. It helps me feel like a kid basically before I became an adult and I was happy a kid in a playground or whatever. Yeah, it makes me feel like I'm a young boy. It brings me a lot of happiness.
And so what's next for you? Not just as a runner, but as a John, the
Boy.
human being.
Well, I want to help other caregivers. Don and I are going to be doing some podcasts coming up. Next couple of days, we're going to be on 2 different pods, me and him. We haven't done one together before, but we want to talk more about what caregivers and what Donald's going through. It's an interesting time right now, I think, and I think Donald can do a lot of good, and I can do a lot of good talking also about the caregiver perspective, but just getting our story out there, just advocating for just people that need help, basically, and not just Donald, but me too. Caregivers need help too. I mean, there's a lot of people in this world that need help, and we're not doing a good job, basically enabling people to want to help care for people.
Awesome. So now there is a rapid fire round. So just quick question where it's just fun and personal and you don't have to think anything. So first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
So it's going to be fast.
Let's go.
Favorite post-run snack?
Post-run snack, pizza.
Toughest race you have ever done?
Ooh, Barkley Fall Classic.
One song that always gets you pumped?
I Had the Tiger.
5K all out or 100 miler slow run? What's worse?
Oh boy, 100 miler.
Pre-race ritual or superstition?
I have to have coffee and I have to go to the bathroom before the race. If I don't, I'm in trouble.
One race everyone should do at least one.
One race that everyone should do once. You have to do the JFK 50 mile here in Virginia. You have to do Marine Corps Marathon here. You have to do a Boston 10 miler. Basically, I'm partial to all the local races here, the iconic ones. There's so many good ones. I feel bad just picking a few of them. But if you're in the DMV area, you have to do JFK, Marine Corps Marathon, and Cherry Blossom. Those are the 3 out the top of my head. But I'm leaving a million out. I love all the races here. I'm very partial to this area and all the races.
What's harder, 100 miles or parenting a toddler?
Oh, I love parenting my kid as a toddler. I'd say the 100 milers because those are precious times you'll never have again. I will say this though, for the mental health side, that to me is so special. Even as it's happening, it kind of makes you sad because it's so precious. I'm already nostalgic for this moment. I think that's tough. It's tough. I think just being a parent in general and raising a kid, it's so beautiful, but at the same time, it can be so sad. Does that make sense? It's deep. I'm a different person now after having a kid. Like that, it changed you. I'm really a sentimental person, man. I really wasn't before. I was just kind of a weirdo, just not really caring about what's going on or just the moment. But I think being a parent, you appreciate the moment more, and that stuff, it's deep.
Yeah, I understand that. In terms of socks, crew or no show?
Oh wow. So I usually wear the one not kind of in between, the ones that come up a little bit, because some shoes the tongue goes up pretty far and I have to have the sock covering everything because if the tongue touches my skin it'll cut it or whatever. I've got sensitive skin or whatever, but yeah, I like something that just goes a little bit above the shoe. No show, I mean sometimes I can wear them, but if there's parts on the shoe that rub weird, it's gonna cut me. I'm sensitive. Yeah, I don't.
Dream race destination?
Wow. I want to do Badwater 135. I've been wanting to do it since I was a kid, so I'm gonna apply next year and hopefully I get in.
First thing you'll eat after completing the Devil Dog 100?
There's a chef Devil Dog, and he makes biscuits and gravy. I don't eat that stuff much anymore because I'm trying to stay in shape, but I love biscuits and gravy. After a race, I will destroy that food. But I'm trying to, especially right now injured, I don't even want to think about that because I would destroy that right now. I love this gravy, but after a race, yeah, that's on. Sometimes I finish Devil Dog slow, so the food might be gone. That just happens. You got to run fast to get the good food. And on 100 milers, I run as fast as I can, and sometimes I don't get the food.
Okay, I think that is all the questions she had. And that's one last thing. So it's just a outro for you. I think it's nice. So John, you just don't run. You live with purpose because you do so many wonderful things. Thank you for showing up today with your story. You are a proof that comeback stories aren't clean, but they are worth it. So I hope to see you again next time after your Dev 100. I think that's going to be an interesting story. And thank you so much for giving your time. It's been a pleasure and I really enjoyed this conversation because we're talking for so long.
Hey, I'll come back on and tell you how it goes. This was a great time, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much and I wish you the best and I hope you stay away from the injury until you recover from the injuries and then get back to it because 100 miles is not a joke. Like what you said, it's going to be a tough race. So I hope and you do well on that race.
See, man, I think I can do it, but it all depends what happens the next couple weeks. We'll see what happens at Historic Half.
Hey everyone, thank you for making it to the end of the podcast. I hope you really enjoy this conversation. I'll see you again next time with another guest. Until then, happy running.